If you could become your most magnetic self in just a few minutes a day, what do you think would change for you? If you showed up in your life, in your business, in your relationships with confidence, with conviction, with embodying your most authentic self, what do you think would change for you? So much, so many more opportunities, people, abundance, clients would literally be magnetized to you because of your frequency, your true frequency that you are emitting. And this is who you truly are beyond the distortions, the old programming, the old belief systems that are not actually your truth. So when I talk about identity shifting and embodying your most magnetic self, I'm not talking about being someone that you're not or whatever. I'm talking about remembering who the F you are and anchoring that through your embodiment. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a way that's really simple so that you can embody the version of you who already has it all, already has everything that you desire without needing it, without being clingy, without needing validation, without needing the evidence in the 3D, but how you can embody that now. And then reality will reflect. This is truly the practice. This is where most of us get it backwards. We want to see things out there before we feel things or believe things in here. You want to see the clients, the money, the success, and then you'll believe that you're good enough, that you know what you're talking about, that you're amazing at what you do. No, you need to embody the fact that you are amazing at what you do and you're in high demand and business is always booming and money comes to you left and right out of nowhere, out of all these different ways. Move forward, it happens. And this is truly the practice. And that's what we're going to get into today. But first, if you are new to me, my name is Stephanie Sage, and I've been supporting spiritual entrepreneurs for the last nearly 10 years with creating a life and business that they love through embodying their most magnetic and authentic self, owning their gifts, and becoming self-actualized, aka remembering who the F you are. So if you resonate with what I share, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want my support with overcoming whatever has been in the way of you and your next level in life or in business, then let's work together. You can find out all that information in the description box below, along with amazing resources to support you on your journey of creating a life and business that you absolutely love. Okay, let's get into it. So your identity is the root of all of your results in your life and in your business. What you believe about yourself, how you feel about yourself, the self-talk that's going on inside and outside, that all is reflected in your reality in a multitude of ways. So if you want to shift your reality, you've got to shift who you are being and anchor into the truth of who you are, the truth of who you are beyond the old programming, beyond the distortions, beyond whatever's happened in the past, because all we have is right now. So this is the practice. This is the awareness. This is something you probably already know. And it's powerful to have practices in place to actually embody that. So I'm going to share some simple things that you can do to anchor into that. But first, realize that you are not actually doing this to get something out there. You're not actually wanting to embody your most magnetic identity to get something. You think that's what it is. You think that you want to do this so that you can attract more clients or attract more money or attract the love of your life, whatever it is. You think that you want to do all this manifesting for that. But really, what you truly desire is a feeling and is union with who you truly are. What you desire out there is actually something that you already have access to within you, but you haven't fully accepted it or embodied it yet. Or perhaps you have been embodying it in some ways, but your energy wobbles and then you immediately go back into the old identity or the old program. So in order to really shift this, we've got to expand our awareness and be really diligent about that. You've got to realize that we've been programmed from very early on, from our upbringing, our parents, school, whatever. And while all of that is the past and it's done with and it doesn't matter now, it's still this program that repeats itself. These old thoughts come up, right? And it's when we cling on and identify with those thoughts that we get stuck and sucked into the same cycle of repeated patterns or repeated things that keep showing up in your reality that aren't what you desire. But when we zoom out and detach from identifying with the old program and identify with a new program, what you truly desire, the reality that you're choosing, what you are claiming, what you are deciding, that's when things will start to shift. But people wobble because you see things that are happening in your reality that are not what you want, and you make it mean something about you or what's possible or what's not possible. Or when it comes to business, a lot of times, I like to use this example, people will launch their offer or launch their program and they'll notice, oh, no one's signing up yet, because their awareness is on no one's signing up yet, or no one signed up, or this thing failed in the past, blah, blah, blah. And you're perpetuating a story. You see yourself as someone who has a hard time attracting clients, but we're done with that. So how do we actually anchor into our most magnetic identity and really stick to that and get that in? So like I said, you've been programmed for so long and gone about your whole life with these programs, right? So it's going to take some conscious awareness, moment by moment, day by day, all the freaking time, to remind yourself of who you truly are and how it truly is, because you get to decide. So going back to embodying your most magnetic identity, when you do this and when you continue to do this moment by moment, day by day, it will eventually become second nature and just who you be without needing to do anything. And you don't need to do anything anyway. However, having practices in place really supports you with anchoring into who you truly freaking are and supporting you with not slipping back into the old programming. So what is the first step? The first step is to be aware of your thoughts, the things that come into your mind. Be aware of them and see them not as who you are, but literally as a broken record, an old record that you are done with, right? But they might come into your mind, these thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So do not identify with your thoughts. Bring your conscious awareness. You don't need to judge them. You don't need to really do anything other than acknowledge that, oh, that's an interesting thought. Actually, that's not what we're choosing. We're choosing this. And you can replace it with what you are choosing, literally. That's how powerful we are. You can literally decide to no longer entertain that thought, not attached to it, just let it float by and continue to remind yourself consciously, no, actually it's like this. Business is booming. Money's always flowing. I'm so grateful. My life is amazing. I am getting healthier every day. I'm getting more fit every day. I am loved. I'm adored. I'm the best at what I do, whatever it is, remind yourself. And it might feel weird at first, but the more you do it, the more it becomes embodied. So the first step, as I mentioned, awareness of your thoughts, remembering you are not your thoughts. And it's when we identify with our thoughts that gets us stuck into that reality, right? So what are you choosing to identify with? Remember, you are pure consciousness streaming through a physical vessel, your body. You are not your body. You are not your thought. You are literally pure God consciousness streaming through your physical vessel. Okay? So you get to choose who you express as, and you get to choose what is reflected in your reality. So start making a practice every day, just being aware of your thoughts, being aware of your thoughts and redirecting them, being aware, redirecting them. If it's not in alignment with what you truly desire and the highest expression of you. The second thing to embody your most magnetic self in just a few minutes a day is to have a practice in place that supports you with elevating your state, with getting into an empowered state. This can be so many different things. I'll share one of my favorite things. I love to do music, mantras, mirror work, movement. I call it my empowered method. I move my body every day. I love to sing affirmations. I've actually just been making ridiculously awesome affirmation music with my AI muse, which I will tag at the link in the description. I just launched my first album with my Sage Songs official. And these are all affirmation songs that you can literally sing your dream life into existence and support you with shifting your state. So music for me has always been a powerful state shifter. This could be breath work, meditation, anything that you could do that supports you in getting into an empowered state, choosing that your day is going to be amazing and supporting that through getting into an amazing state, dancing, singing, movement. You hear me talk about this all the time. But elevating your state is important because when you're in an empowered state, you take different actions and you get different results. So that's the second thing of embodying your most magnetic identity. What supports you in getting into an empowered state? What can you do on a regular basis that pumps you up, that makes you feel like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I'm so excited about everything that is inspiring in my favor. Do that for yourself. I also love tapping. EFT tapping is amazing for state shifting. The third thing is to pay attention to your inner and outer dialogue. So we kind of already covered your inner dialogue with the first thing of being aware of your thoughts, right? But your outer dialogue can sometimes be sneaky. The things that you say to other people, words are vibrations. I'm a very, very big believer in this whole words are vibrations. Like if you are speaking something to someone and it's in a disempowered light, then you're literally creating that, right? And give an example, I have a friend and she often says, or used to, because I called her out on this and just I brought this to her awareness a few times. She would say, "Oh, I really want to do that, but I can't afford that, or that's too expensive." And I kindly was like, "Hey, if I were you, I would choose not to say I can't afford it or that's too expensive." And I basically told her that if she's wanting to call in more abundance, then she's got to stop saying she can't afford things or that it's too expensive and to choose a different way to express that she desires that and she's going to do that without limiting herself. It's not a priority right now, but I'm super excited for when I'm doing that or I'm creating the money for that right now. Something, anything. So that's an example of how your external dialogue can affect things. I catch myself sometimes when I say disempowering things. If I say something like with the words can't or I have to do this or should or just different words that feel limiting or constricting, I will change it in real time. So start to pay attention to your external dialogue. Also, I love affirmative statements, affirmations, or decrees. I already mentioned this in my musical affirmations for the songs, but I also speak things into existence. I speak things out loud, and it's a powerful embodiment practice. If you're saying to yourself all the time that, business is doing amazing, clients are coming out of the woodworks, my abundance is increasing every day, I feel amazing today, today's the best day ever. If you say things like that to yourself on a regular basis, it's going to shift your state and it's also going to shift what conspires in your reality. And these are all things that you may have heard before and some that you may do or don't do. But I'm telling you, if you start to make this just an ongoing practice, being aware of your thoughts, elevating your state, watching your external dialogue, it literally will shift everything for you. And the reason why I say it only takes a few minutes a day is because it's not like you're just sitting there for hours doing this. It's just here and there, you're catching things and you're shifting them in real time. And that is going to shift so freaking much for you because think about all the time you have unconsciously thought about things that were disempowering or said things that are disempowering, which then gets you into this state that feels like, oh, I hope this happens. I want this to happen, but I don't know. I don't know how, and it gets you into this state of feeling like it's not possible. And the last thing that I'll say here is start to really see yourself as your next level self in the now. How does the you who is serving at her next level, receiving at her next level, is in the dream house, the dream relationship, whatever, like how does she show up? How does she walk into a room? If you were to pretend today that is literally in your physical reality right now, all of it, like how would you move through your day? What would be different? Connect with this vision of you because it's already you in a parallel reality. You're just collapsing the gap, right? It's already you. But the more we can see it in our mind's eye and the more we can feel it and connect to it as it is because it is, the easier it's going to be and the faster it's going to be to boom, collapse that reality into this now moment. And who's to say that the next post you make doesn't blow up or the next video you make doesn't go viral and have all these people reaching out to you? Like, who's to say that doesn't happen next freaking week? You know what I mean? So fuel that over what you don't desire. And obviously, this is common sense. Yeah, I know. And we're human. And sometimes we can get sucked into the old stuff. So let this be your reminder to no longer give your power away to anything disempowering that goes on in your mind or that comes out through your mouth. No longer give any power to that. You are pure consciousness streaming through your physical vessel. You are able to actualize and allow in whatever you desire. You are just shifting into the reality where it already is. But in order to do that, you've got to be the identity who already has it, not the one who's trying to manifest it, not the one who thinks it's out there still, not the one who is waiting, the one who already has it. And it is inside of you. Again, going back to what I said before, the it that you think is out there is a feeling that you desire in here. The more clients, the more money, the whatever, that's usually you want to feel secure. You want to feel safe. You want to feel secure. You want to feel valued. You want to feel important, loved, whatever. Like you need to give that to yourself. When you give that to yourself through your daily practices, through your positive self-talk, through how you see yourself and seeing yourself in a high light, the more you give that to yourself, everything that reflects in reality is just going to be a byproduct of that inner state, that inner you that's shining through. And as you do some of this, you might feel a little delusional. You're not freaking delusional. You're just reprogramming yourself. You are retraining yourself to remember what the truth freaking is instead of believing in the lies and the illusion that you've already been believing for so long. Believe in your freaking delusions that are actually just your truth, because anything's possible all of the time, and watch what starts to reflect in your reality. But more importantly, watch how you feel on the inner, because that is ultimately what matters most, because your inner world always will reflect in your outer world, as within, so without. And if you keep getting stuck into why isn't it here yet, you've already slipped back into the old programming. The key is to not be affected by what's happening out there, because reality can lag a little bit, but to stay focused and making your peace your priority. So I want to leave this here. I hope this was super helpful for you and just reminded you to expand your awareness, to not get sucked into the distortions, and to relentlessly remind yourself of what's possible, what you're choosing, what you're deciding, and may it reflect in your reality beyond your wildest imagination in so many epic freaking ways. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.